Hello, my lovely listeners. Welcome back. Or, if this is your first time, welcome to the channel. I hope you all enjoyed last week's video. This week, I have just returned from Stilla. Stilla is a planet that, in many ways, resembles the American Old West. There are deserts and vast plains, cowboys, and even outlaws. A friend of mine, who owns a tavern on Stilla, once found a piece of paper with the following verse scribbled on it, pinned to the jacket of a cowboy who had passed out drunk in the tavern. The cowboy woke up and offered it to him in exchange for his tab, and for some reason he couldn't explain, my friend accepted it. This is another longer poem, so I have divided it into two parts. Today's video contains part 1. Part 2 will be uploaded next week. So, if you like cowboys, ghosts, and scary things that go bump in the night, you know what to do. Grab your fluffy cushions, your sun hats, and your ice cream, and get ready to enjoy The Cowboy at the Crossroads of the Soul. The Cowboy at the Crossroads of the Soul. Part 1. The cowboy stood beside the lonely crossroads, a crumpled letter clasped in his right hand. He knew this was the place he'd been summoned to, though he was still hard-pressed to understand why a postbox would be standing alone here, far out of sight of all humanity, beside a crossroad in the lonely desert, where the crimson dust blew on, wild and free. He couldn't recall where the note had found him, only that it was written in a hand he'd have answered, come heaven or come hellfire. That person had been able to command his every action, almost since her first breath. Leanne had been his baby sister's friend. When they were younger, he had thought her foolish, but he'd fight the girl's honor to defend. Then, one day, he'd looked at her and lost his soul. The day that saw sweet Leanne turn 18. Jesse had known her, meant to hold his whole soul. She'd hesitated, thinking he was mean. But all too soon, they'd sworn out an engagement. Happy, like most young lovebirds, they would dream of their wedding day and all that would follow. Sadly, the year that made Leanne 19, the same year that the pair were due to marry, a pestilent fever swept through the town. Some recovered fully, others were crippled. Alas, Leanne was among those struck down. The day they'd laid her body in the red earth was the day Jesse had left Arrowhead. He'd ridden till his poor horse died of fatigue, making at night the warm rocks for a bed. He'd gone from town to town as a laborer, scarcely caring whether he lived or died. Eventually, he'd signed as a courier. He was part through a run when bandits spied his lonely campfire and rode to attack him. Jesse fought but expected death to come. They beat him and tied him, and Jesse waited for the flick of a knife to send him home to sweet Leanne. Instead, the bandits' leader, a grizzled man with a deep-lined forehead, came to Jesse and said, "If you want to live, consider a trial with my men instead." Jesse felt bad about breaking the sworn oath he had made to his former company, but life was still burning hot enough in him that he said, "I'll take the trial actually." And as it turned out, bandit life suited him. Soon, he became the leader of the band. After the old man died of a heart attack, the group was renowned all across the land. Jesse made money, drank, and bedded women. With every year that passed, he did the same. Until, just recently, he had grown weary. of the same thing. He'd left behind the game, surrendering the gang to his young second, and wandered the land, drifting rootlessly. And that was all he recalled, till the crossroads, and the note he clung to so desperately. Certainly, something must have happened to bring him across the long miles from far away. He must have thought that he was somehow needed. He'd not have traveled if there was no way to do some good. Still, there was no town nearby, nor any other person he could see. Perhaps someone would arrive to collect him. He sat him down and waited restlessly. The day was hot. He had no water with him, nor was there a river or spring nearby. The cowboy smacked his lips and tilted his hat to cover up his face. If he should die out here like this, it would surely be shameful, unlike leaving life in gunfire glory. Still, he would not leave, not holding a letter from his Leanne. No, he'd wait faithfully. Sometime later, Jesse heard a throat clearing. He looked up to see a skinny young child. The girl's eyes were bruised, and her face was weary. But when she looked down at Jesse, she smiled. "I met a lady up the road," the girl said. She smiled when I told her I was hungry. She said she didn't carry coin anymore, but if I found you, you'd give me money. Jessie almost set the young girl on her heels by growling that she'd better go away. With her lies of a strange lady and her smiles. Then he paused, thinking what Leanne would say if she found him here, only to discover he'd turned a little innocent aside. "Here." He handed the child a silver dollar. "That should be enough to fill your young hide for a few meals." The little lady giggled. "You've shown your true nature by doing right. When I see your lady, I'll surely tell her what you did for me, my denim-clad knight." She vanished before Jesse could answer her. Right now, the sun was high. Must be midday. He'd wait some more, but if the clock reached midnight, he'd leave this place and no longer would stay. For now, he sat and saw, to his amazement, a skin of water set down in the sand. He lifted it and drank. The liquid was pure. It made him feel once again like a man. Jesse didn't know how he hadn't seen it. Had the little girl left it there for him? But why would she have left such a great treasure to a mere stranger? Simply on a whim? He didn't know, and so he tipped his head down. He must have dozed there for a little while, because he woke up when somebody shook him. A man with a worn face and glowing smile. He wheezed and slapped his legs, and then asked Jesse if he could sit beside him for a spell. For he had walked a long time on the same road, defenseless against air as hot as hell. "I guess," was about all Jesse could manage before his unlikely guest plopped right down onto a tuffet. Glancing at the distance, Jesse saw the sun had almost gone down. He must have been sitting here for long hours, yet felt no trace of sunburn on his face. "The days go fast," the man beside him observed. "You know, as I was coming to this place, I happened upon a beautiful lady. I told her I'd walked a long road thirsty. She said she had nothing with her to give me, but if I found you, you would give to me. Money, I guess." Jesse groped in his pocket, already regretting his earlier weakness. "Oh no," the man said. "I would never presume to ask that much of you or her. Indeed, I have made enough in my labors to cause my purse with copper coins to chink. No, sir, supplying my want is much easier. I ask of you nothing more than a drink." Again, Jesse almost refused. The old man had never brushed his teeth, judged by his breath. If Jesse shared his water skin, then he risked an infection that would lead him to death. Or so he thought, until the man said, "You know, I carry my own cup along with me." "Fine," Jesse cursed, "but only take a little. I'll be wanting the bottom half for me." "Right you are, sir." The man seemed almost amused. "I will tell your lady just how good you were. It will make me happy to see her smile, knowing you have fulfilled her faith for her." "What lady?" Jesse tried to ask, but quickly weariness overwhelmed his frame again, and he fell asleep. When he woke up once more, the stars were trembling high above men, although no moon graced the night with its silver. Jesse looked beside him. The man was gone, but Jesse could hear the sound of horses' hooves, the rough and stony road tripping along. In moments, a stagecoach appeared before him, not rough and pitted, like the ones he knew from his days of robbing routes of travelers. No, this one shone like something made quite new. The windows were covered by red satin blinds. One lowered, revealing a fine lady, all dressed in satin, with lips red as rubies. She smiled at him, like an old friend. "Jesse!" she cried, stretching out her pale hands towards him. "What are you doing sitting in the dark? I've come here to collect you, love, so get in." Her dark eyes gleamed, at their heart a red spark. Jesse was tempted. He could not deny it. The stage was fitted out with cushioned seats, all dark crimson. Warming pans sat on the floor, waiting to ease the pangs of chilly feet. The lady, too, was enticing, her lips full, her hands and body likewise so tempting that Jesse could not help feeling the longing that had originally made him sin. The lady was exquisite, true, but not she. Who'd written the note that had called him here? If he was to ascend as she invited, Lee Ann might forget him. At that worst fear, Jesse shook his head. "Forgive me, my lady. Do not think that I'm not grateful to you for asking me, but I was called here to wait by one I love. To her, I will be true." Jesse expected the woman to trot on, maybe to pout, but she let out a scream and raked at him, with hands now turned to sharp claws. "Damn you," she shrieked. "Your soul belongs to me." Subscribe to become a delicious darling. How strange. I wonder who the woman was, and what she meant by saying that Jesse's soul belonged to her. Who were the strange people who met him at the crossroads? Will Jesse ever see his Leanne again? We will answer all those questions and more in next week's video. Until then, you could pass the time by typing the word cowboy into the comments and telling me your favorite Western film or story, if you have one. You may also want to take a moment to click like, subscribe, and tap the notification bell. Doing so will ensure you never miss one of our enchanting videos. It will also make you an official delicious darling and a welcome part of our spooky, wacky family. Right, I am off to the library between the universes to ensure that today's poem winds up on file. Until I see you again, be happy, healthy, and warm, and be sure to hug those you love. Sleep well, my delicious darlings.